Welcome to the Brooklyn Technical High School Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to sign up for more. The presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. And now I'd like to turn it over to our presenters. And first up is Binghamton University.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alexander Ma, and I am an admissions counselor at Binghamton University, regionally based in New York City. And that just means I work remotely for Binghamton all year long before the pandemic and all that not so fun stuff. At any point, if you have any questions about Binghamton, feel free to put that in the Q&A, and I'll answer them at the end of my presentation. So I'll share my screen with you. Binghamton University is part of SUNY, the State University of New York system, the largest public school system in the United States. In SUNY, there are a total of 64 different schools to apply to, big schools, small schools, in all different shapes and sizes. They're located in other cities, in rural areas. SUNY is pretty much spread throughout New York State, and you'll actually hear from a couple of them a little bit after this. How Binghamton is different than the other SUNY institutions is that we are known as the #1 public university in New York State. So we have the highest academic standards in both the SUNY and CUNY system. So it makes sense to start with Binghamton by the numbers first. So there are about 14,000 undergraduate students on Binghamton's campus every single day, plus 4,000 grad students, which makes 18,000 altogether. Not too big, not too small. We are considered a medium-sized college, so if you want to meet somebody new every single day on Binghamton's campus, definitely very doable. However, you're just not another face in the crowd because we do provide that small liberal arts and science feel for you. On a typical year, including this past year, we have about 40,000 applications for about 3,000 first-year spots. And something that we're really proud of is that first-year retention rate. As you can see, that's at 92%. And retention rate just pretty much means that the students that come to Binghamton, they're happy here, they like the other students, the classes, the people, whatever it may be. They do return back to Binghamton the following year and are likely to graduate at Binghamton too. So that 92% retention rate, very, very proud of that. Typical Binghamton applicant is somewhere in the mid-90 range, so between 93 to 98, or 3.7 to 3.9. If you're on a 4.0 scale, I just want to mention with all the numbers listed on the bottom, they are within the middle 50% ranges. So there are 25% of students who have higher than 98 and still getting to Binghamton. 25% of students who are lower than 93 still getting to Binghamton. So it's all about that kind of balance on your college application. Typical Binghamton student or who is applying to Binghamton is somewhere around the 1300 in the SAT and about a 29 to 33 on the ACT. I know I get a lot of questions about being test optional right now, and I could probably speak for my SUNY colleagues as well. Unfortunately, we don't know yet, just because SUNY is still trying to figure it out. And my recommendation for you is to prepare for the SAT or ACT in case we are not going test optional. There are 6 different schools, 6 different colleges that make up Binghamton University as a whole. We have Harper College of Arts and Sciences, and this is what we were once known as, and we were created in the 1940s, 1950s, and it is still our biggest school with most of our majors and most of our students. So if you're thinking about the humanities, the sciences, arts, languages, some interdisciplinary majors, that's all part of Harper College. We also have a College of Community and Public Affairs, if you're interested in social work or human development. We have a nursing school, we have a school of management, we have Watson College for engineering as well. And recently we have a school of pharmacy that started a couple of years ago. Binghamton is looking to get into health sciences right now. So we are looking to add physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech pathology within the next few years. So we're very, very excited about that. There are a couple of different exclusive programs at Binghamton, and there are our research programs. So we have the FRI, the first year research immersion program, and also the SOURCE project. So Binghamton and about 4 other colleges in the country offer these programs to our students. So you don't have to wait until your 3rd year of college to participate in research, and you can hit the ground running as soon as you get to Binghamton's campus. With the FRI, this is more STEM focused. So if you're thinking about clean energy, the environment, public health, biology, this might be a really great fit for you. However, if STEM is not your thing, that is totally okay, because that's what we have the source project for, and that focuses more on the humanities or social sciences. Either way, both these programs are really great on your resume, especially if you're thinking about applying to graduate school. At Binghamton, there are a couple honors programs as well. So we have the Binghamton University Scholars Program, which is reserved for most of our majors. PwC Scholars is reserved for our School of Management students. So you have to be either studying business administration or accounting to be invited to PwC. We have summer scholars for our creative students, and we recently added a Watson Scholars as well. So this is for our engineering students. All of them have a number of different benefits, and even if you're not invited to these programs, there are many different opportunities where you graduate of honors at Binghamton too. And that's enough about the serious stuff at Binghamton. So student life is actually a really important part at Binghamton. So everything's completely student run. Our student association does receive about $5 million every single year to have these different clubs and organizations running for you. We have a student run newspaper, radio, television station. Students run a bus company on campus too. Students are the EMTs, so we do have a volunteer ambulance corps. So really the sky's the limit in terms of what you can do at Binghamton. In terms of sports, there are a couple of different options available to you, including our Division I teams with the Binghamton Bearcats, where you do have to be scouted or recruited. We also have 38 different clubs and sports team. We could be traveling around the region, playing against other SUNYs and private colleges as well. But if you don't want to travel anywhere too far, intramural sports is available on campus, where it's student versus student, Binghamton versus Binghamton, or community versus community. And for those of you who just want to sit back and relax and enjoy the show, we do have hundreds of musical performances on campus every single year at a free or reduced cost to our students. We have a couple art galleries as well with thousands of pieces of art, and you can definitely check all of this out when you do visit Binghamton. I don't believe I have that much time left, but I will include my email in the chat box for you in case you don't catch it right now. Thanks for having me. Again, my name is Alexander Ma, and I'm representing Binghamton University. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much. Next up is SUNY Oneonta.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabby Donato. I'm the New York City Regional Admissions Counselor here at SUNY Oneonta. I'm going to share my screen quickly, and then I'm going to give you just a general overview of all that Oneonta has to offer. We do have a short period of time today, so I'll try to give you just the quick information. So just a little bit of background information about Oneonta and where we're located. I just want to go back. Okay, can we see my screen? We're good. Okay, let me know if you can. All right, so a little bit of information about where we're located. We're about 3 hours from Brooklyn, New York. We're located about halfway between Albany and Binghamton. So we're just an hour away from our neighbors at Binghamton and an hour and 15 minutes from our neighbors at Albany. We are part of the SUNY system. We are considered to be a medium-sized university college within the system. So SUNY has different tiers. We fall into the university college tier, and we have about 6,000 undergraduate students on our campus with an average class size of about 21. So size is something that we really like to focus on at Oneonta as you begin to do research on your college search process. If Oneonta winds up on your list and you come to our events, you'll hear that this is something that we place a strong emphasis on. So for students who learn best in a smaller sized classroom, in a smaller sized environment, that's something that we are committed to and that you'll find on our campus. Very few lecture halls at SUNY Oneonta. You may only see 1 or 2 in your 4 years. Most of our classroom sizes are equipped to hold between 20 and 35 students across campus. We focus a lot on the individual and personalized attention that we give to our students. So you'll have the opportunity to get to know your professors really well, to interact with them, not just in the classroom when you see them there, but outside of the classroom during internships, research opportunities, eating the dining halls. Many of them live in the local Oneonta community, where our students spend a great deal of their time off campus. So you'll also see your professors at a coffee shop on a Saturday morning, walking their dogs on campus, at a sporting event with their families. So they are a really big part of our community. They are very present, they are very active, and they're very easy to access. So we pride ourselves on the support that we give our students and the attention that our students receive on a more personalized basis. Academics wise, we offer about 57 majors at Oneonta with over 50 minors, giving you a total of about 120 total program options and combinations. We will absolutely support our students if you wish to double major, add a minor onto your major. We are here to make your college experience really what you want it to be. So you can work with your academic advisor to kind of customize that experience so that you can study everything it is that you want to study. For our undecided students, which is about 25% of our first year class, we will help you figure that out. So when you are applying to Oneonta, you're applying to the college. Once you're admitted to Oneonta, you have access to all of our programs. So rather than applying into a specific program, waiting to see if you're admitted, and then if you change your major, having to reapply into another school on campus or program on campus, we feel that that makes it more challenging for students to change their mind. So once you're in, and you can change your major in 5 minutes on a piece of paper if you want to study something different. We have nationally recognized programs in several different areas, nationally ranked business and education programs, a nationally ranked music industry program, a fashion and textiles program. Our theater program is also a nationally accredited program. So really spanning a wide variety of areas for you to explore and study depending on what you're interested in. We also have our pre-professional advisement programs for students looking to go into graduate school or professional careers, and that comes with additional support to help get you there. And they partner with our Career Development Center to help our students prepare for life after college. We were recently ranked one of the top 10 schools in New York for landing a job after college. So we're seeing that our graduates at Oneonta are very successful. One of the reasons for that is because we place such a large emphasis on making sure that our students have access to hands-on learning experiences. So over 85% of our students complete at least 2 hands-on learning experiences at Oneonta before they graduate. And that can be either a study abroad experience, a research experience, an internship, a teaching assistant, any one of those things that can help build you a strong resume for whatever comes next. So our students have access to all of those programs. There are internships available on campus for students in our local Oneonta community across the entire state of New York, across the country, and even internationally. So although we're located in a small college town in central New York, our alumni network spans across the entire country, and we really partner with them closely with Career Development and our Alumni Association to be able to ensure that our students do have access to these hands-on learning opportunities. So if you're looking to do something outside of the Oneonta area, perhaps somewhere else in New York City, some other state in the country, maybe over the summer semester, we can definitely help set you up with those opportunities as well. As you learn about SUNY, you'll learn that we all share study abroad programs with each other. So regardless of which SUNY you attend, you'll have close to 1,000 different study abroad options, which you may hear more about from some of my colleagues. This just gives you a glance into what some of our spaces look like on campus. So it's really important to us that we're providing students with modern spaces to live and learn at Oneonta. We do a ton of construction over the summer to ensure that our students have those renovated spaces and have all the access to technology that they need. So we've recently completed a renovation of our library, giving students up-to-date technology spaces, computer labs, presentation rooms to work on group presentations with other students, and all of those things that you may need. This also gives you a glance into what a classroom size at Oneonta would look like. So again, like I said, in that 20 to 30 range, allowing for discussion-based courses and opportunities to get to know your professors. We do have an active student life on campus. So as you start to learn more about us, you'll learn we have over 150 clubs and organizations on campus. That is something that is very important to us. And there's plenty of things to do and get involved with on campus. And this just gives you an overview of our application process. So just 2 quick things to note. Our early action deadline is November 15th, and our deadline to be considered for scholarships is January 15th. So if you're thinking about applying to Oneonta, keep those 2 things in mind. And I will be in the chat to answer any questions that you all may have. This is my contact information. I'll share it in the chat as well. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions or reach out after this. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks so much. Next up is SUNY Potsdam.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rafael Villa. I am the SUNY Potsdam rep for New York City, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island to be specific. I am an alumni of Potsdam as well. I graduated in 2019 and then proceeded to get my master's in 2020. So any questions about Potsdam or student life, please feel free to ask in the chat. So just to start, you've never heard of Potsdam before. We're the smallest and oldest 4-year college in the SUNY system. So out of all the SUNYs, 4-year SUNY colleges, we're #1, which is super cool. We have about 3,500 undergraduate students. So we're considered a small school, which is a great sideway to our 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio, which means that because we're a small school, you will get all the attention you need. You will get a lot of hands-on experiences, but also a lot of the availability of meeting your professors as much as you would like, every week or every month. We have over 400 fine arts events and performances a year. So if you're interested in the arts, let's say you're interested in music, dance, theater, painting, drawing, ceramics, you can do that as a major, or you can just do it for fun on the side. We are one of the 3 arts designated campuses in all of SUNY. As you can see, we're #1 rated in food in the SUNY system. So out of all SUNY schools, we have been rating #1 in food for the last about 6 years. And to be honest, it's something that I, as an alumni, can testify to that, because the food is actually very good. I never miss home for some reason, and I never miss my home cooked meal, because Potsdam does a good job at, again, making good food that you will enjoy. We have 18 intercollegiate sports teams. So if you're interested in sports, you can either do them for fun, or you can actually play at a collegiate level. We have 4 colleges within a 10-mile radius. And what that means that if you want to take classes at any of those colleges, you can do so for free, just because they are part of the Potsdam community. Lastly, we are located just outside of the Adirondack Mountains. So just fun fact, we're about 6 hours away from the city, literally one line across the state. And although it's far, the experiences there will be amazing, because you will experience things that you've never experienced before, like nature-wise stuff like kayaking, snow tubing. Canada is like 20 minutes away from us, so you have a lot of opportunities there. When it comes to academic opportunities, we have over 50 majors that you can choose from and 60 minors. In Potsdam, you have the flexibility of double majoring, triple majoring, majoring and minoring, whatever you're interested in. We host the Krenner School of Music, one of the top 10 music schools in the country. So if you're interested in music education, music production, music business, music performance, Potsdam is a great, has the Krenner School of Music, which is very good for it. We have lots of internship opportunities, study abroad opportunities, as well as career services. So if that's something that worries you and you worry about your future and what's going to happen after college, 99% of our students do have a job after college or go straight into their master's. So you know that you're going to have a great future with Potsdam. We have a student support services. So if you're interested in having in getting a lot of support from our staff, you will be able to get that. We have a lot of tutoring, a lot of advising, time management, note taking, test taking workshops, as well as an accommodative services in a counseling center. Because again, mental health is also very important when you go to college. When it comes to campus involvement, we have over 100 clubs and organizations that you can choose from. Literally, we have any clubs that you can think of. And if you think of something that we do not have, let's say you want to have a TikTok club, that is something that you can start. Definitely, Potsdam allows students to start their own clubs, which is great. When it comes to campus life and events, we have a whole office dedicated to creating events on campus. So there is always something going on, from 10 to 15 events happening daily. Even right now during COVID, we still managed to have many events for students to attend in person, as well as remote, virtually, for those who are studying remotely. We have a climbing wall, we have an ice arena. So if you like ice skating, you will be able to do that in Potsdam. We also have a state-of-the-art fitness center, recently renovated. So if fitness is something that you're interested in, that is something that you will be able to continue in Potsdam. When it comes to applying to Potsdam, it's very simple. We're rolling admissions, which means that you can apply as late or early as you would like. I believe applications begin in October, and ever since that start, you can just apply. You can either submit the common application or the SUNY application, one of the two. We need an official high school transcript, a personal essay, and a letter of recommendation. As you can see, we do not require SAT scores or ACT scores, and I know this year is different because all SUNY is test optional, but for next year, I know some schools might go back to normal. We have been test optional for the last 10 years. So if you do not take the SATs or ACTs, or if you do take it and you don't do so well, you don't have to worry about it. You can just, again, send it to us. I mean, you can just send it to us and we will consider it, but you don't have to. And lastly, our cost of attendance is about $22,000 a year. And our merit-based scholarship can be, you can apply to it as long as you're an accepted student at Potsdam, and the deadline is February 15th. So even though we're rolling admissions, we recommend that you apply before the deadline so you can apply for the scholarship. Thank you.
Great, thanks so much. Next up is SUNY New Paltz.
Hi, everyone. My name's Casey Hintz, and I'm an admissions counselor at SUNY New Paltz. I don't have a presentation, so don't worry if that's not appearing on your screen. SUNY New Paltz is a liberal arts and sciences college located about 2 hours away from Brooklyn Tech, north of Brooklyn Tech. We are a liberal arts and sciences college that has over 100 majors and minors in the fields of education, liberal arts and sciences, science and engineering, business, and fine and performing arts. We are a school that would encourage things such as double majoring or taking minors. Coming in undecided is completely okay as well. You are also able to take courses that maybe don't specifically go towards your major as well. So if you're someone who's like an engineering major, but you like arts classes, you are free to take those art classes as well. Then while you are in school, the types of classes that you will be in are going to be smaller and more hands-on. Our official student to faculty ratio is 15:1, but we also have 90% of our classes with less than 40 people in the classroom. There are also 75% of our classes that have less than 30 people in the classroom. So you don't have to worry about competing with other students for attention that is needed, whether it be additional help or you're trying to network, learn more, whatever the case might be. All of that is available to you. Also, our teachers have what are called office hours, which is where they are specifically in their office only for the purpose of meeting with you. So again, there is that additional opportunity to network, get to know them, things like that. And that becomes very important for students. And the primary reason for that is the professors are the most connected people on campus. You've all probably heard that getting a job is about who you know. Well, the professors are the people who know everybody. So the more connected you can be with the professors, the more job opportunities, career opportunities, internship opportunities, research opportunities will present themselves to you. So if you go to a school like a New Paltz or smaller school, that's definitely something you want to take advantage of. But obviously, you are not just choosing a school for academic reasons, you are also choosing it for social reasons. And at New Paltz, we feel like we have a very good environment for that. We are, first off, a fairly diverse school. And I don't just mean that in terms of what race somebody identifies as. 40% of our students do identify as a person of color, but we also have students from all over the United States. We have people of every race, religion, ethnicity, LGBTQ community, people with disabilities, all represented on campus. And this has been beneficial for two main reasons. One is when there's more diversity on campus, that means there are more interests being represented on campus. So that has allowed us to have more clubs and activities and opportunities and events for students on our campus. There are over 200 clubs and organizations of which you can join that range everywhere from our Division III National Championship sports to video game related clubs, social justice organizations, sororities, fraternities, volunteer organizations, arts clubs. All of that is available for you to participate in. I've spoken to many students, some students who are currently students and students who went here like 20 years ago, and all of them have told me the same thing, that if you can't find something to do at New Paltz, you are actively trying to not look for something. You are probably just sitting in your room by yourself. So there is opportunities there too. Also, that diversity has prevented cliques from developing on our campus. I don't feel like there's anyone who feels left out because they're not like the rest of campus. We're not a school to where you're either an athlete or you don't fit in, or you're a partier or you don't fit in. Because of the amount of diversity there is plenty of opportunity for you to find where you fit in on our campus. Plenty of opportunities for that. Also with our diversity, aside from the fact that they come from all over the United States, there's 700 international students. Also for us, New York City is the #1 population on campus. So New York City in itself is just a very diverse location due to how many people are there. So all of that is present on campus. Another advantage to all the diversity is also with the organizations on campus whose job it is just to make sure that you as a student are represented. And they are the people to where when the people on campus who make major decisions like the president and the cabinet members, these organizations make sure that everybody's concerns are heard and voiced in those regards. And again, that's for every race, religion, ethnicity, learning disabilities, physical disabilities, LGBTQ, tutoring services, academic counseling, emotional counseling, like all of that is represented because of the amount of diversity on campus. So it is really a place that you can feel like you are being heard, and that your opinion matters, and that we are definitely considering that in all of the decisions that are made on campus. In terms of the physical makeup of New Paltz itself, it is, as in the town, it is definitely more of a town feel. However, we are not in the middle of nowhere. The downtown area is only located a 5-minute walk away from campus. So you're able to take advantage of the restaurants, movie theater, grocery stores, multiple banks, Starbucks, all those kinds of things are located there. Also, for me personally, I actually do all of my medical appointments in New Paltz. So if you ever need a dentist, optometrist, standard medical checkups, anything like that, you can also know that that's within a 5-10 minute walk away from campus as well. So all of those resources are there. If at any point you feel like you want to take advantage of a little bit bigger city, we do have 3 more stereotypical cities located directly around New Paltz, and that being Poughkeepsie, Kingston, and Newburgh. Also, we know you're going to want to go to and from the city at some point, so we do have both the Metro North reaches up here and the Trailways bus system can get you to and from New Paltz. So there is all that. It is very accessible from home. And then just real quickly before I wrap up, obviously when it comes time to applying for schools, a lot of students ask me which application to use. For New Paltz, we don't have a preference whether you use the SUNY app or the Common App. Either one is acceptable. And then after that, you'll submit your documents. If there are any additional questions about anything, please feel free to put them either in the chat or the Q&A. I will put all of my information in the chat as well, so you all have that.
Great, thanks very much. Next up is Lehigh University.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Kaylin Richmond, and I am your admissions counselor for Lehigh University. So we're going to jump right in. So on the screen, you see that Lehigh is a medium-sized institution. We have about 5,000 undergraduate students. On the screen, you also see that we do have a large population of first-generation students on our campus, 16%. So on campus, we have a few different resources specific for our first-generation students, one of them being a housing community. So students are able to, after they've been admitted to Lehigh, to say, you know what, I want to live with people that have a similar background to me and make that step to live in that community. Aside from that, our Office of Student Access and Success does a lot of work with our first generation students. Through that office, they help students to get their passport and take them on their first trip abroad. They also help them to develop some great test taking and note taking skills. And they also just help to build that community with our first generation population. There also is a first club, so just keep that in mind. On the screen, you also see that about a quarter of our students are from an underrepresented background. That number is growing each year because diversity is a priority to us on Lehigh's campus. You also see that 70 countries are represented at Lehigh, and 49 states, including DC and Puerto Rico, are also included. So our campus is diverse in several ways. I'll show you more about that on some other slides. So Lehigh is built for problem solving and across disciplines. We have 4 colleges: our College of Arts and Sciences, our College of Business, our newer College of Health, and then the P.C. Rawson College of Engineering and Applied Science. So if you are interested in one of those colleges, you will apply directly into them, but you do not have to pick your major yet. So for the College of Arts and Sciences and the College of Business, you have until the end of your sophomore year to declare a major. For College of Engineering, you have until the end of your first year. College of Health right now is focusing on just population health. So if you're interested in Using data science to analyze different illnesses and diseases, population health really might be for you. And if you're interested in our pre-med track or pre-health track in general, then you can do that through either the College of Health or the College of Arts and Sciences. On the screen, you also see that we have a 9:1 student to faculty ratio. All that really means is that you're not going to be having to fight for attention when you're in the classroom. You'll be able to build relationships with your professors and collaborate with other students within the classroom. On the screen, you also see that about 1,300 students participated in research in the year 2019. That's about 1 in 5 students at Lehigh. And that spans across disciplines, so humanities, our heart sciences, our biology, and medical related research. Those are all options for you at Lehigh. So it's not just in a lab setting doing something with lasers and whatnot. On the screen, you see that we do have a lot going on our campus. So we are a Division I sports school, and we do have 25 Division I sports available. If you're not interested in dedicating that much time to sports, that's totally okay. We do offer intramural and club sports as well. On the screen, you see that we have a very active campus. About 93% of our students will participate in some type of extracurricular activity. We have over 200 clubs to choose from. They can be academic-based to arts and performance-based to things that are based on just regular hobbies and interests. Some of my favorites include the Lehigh Immigration Coalition. They look to help make sure people are aware of the rights and policies surrounding immigration. There's also the African Student Association, the Asian Student Association, there's the Black Student Union, there is the Hispanic engineering program. There's a lot to choose from all on our campus. And community service is also another opportunity for students to connect with our local community. So if that's something that you're interested in continuing at college, Lehigh is definitely the place for you to do that. On the screen, you'll also see that we are ranked number 7 in our top LGBT-friendly colleges. Lehigh does a lot of work to make sure that our students on campus feel seen and feel heard, and that they're able to build that relationship with other people that are proud members of the LGBT community. So much so that we do have a very active Pride Center that does a lot of events and just free programming throughout the year. On the screen, you see that Lehigh's students that graduate from Lehigh do really well. 95% of the class of 2019 was employed and graduated or admitted into a grad school within 6 months of graduation. And I'll tell you right now that that number was consistent with 2020 as well. So despite so much going on with the coronavirus and the pandemic, our students were still able to have their jobs and internships honored and get into grad schools. And that really does speak highly about the type of students that come to Lehigh. And part of that is because of our alumni network and the vast majority of networking and relationships that they build with our current students. On the screen, you'll see some of the companies that our students work with. Just calling out a few, there's EY, Google, Morgan Stanley, and then L'Oreal Paris. Lastly, in case you weren't sure, Lehigh is located in, of course, the Lehigh Valley. So we're about an hour and a half from New York City and about 90 minutes from Philadelphia. So there is a lot going on. We're not exactly a small town. We do have a lot of things for you to choose from in the area. And lastly, just for you to see, we do have some great rankings. We are a top 50 research institution. You can see that we're number 7 in best lab facilities. And lastly, you can see on the screen our deadlines for applications. Thanks so much.
Great, thank you very much. Next up is Kenyon College.
Okay, so sorry, could not get the unmute button. I apologize. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. We're at Kenyon College. Kenyon was founded almost 200 years ago. We've got a very busy bicentennial committee who's planning our 200th birthday party coming up. We're the oldest private college in Ohio, always showing up on the list of the top liberal arts colleges in the United States. And we are located on 1,000 stunningly beautiful rural acres in central Ohio. Now, I will tell you, I'm a native of New York City. I'm a Stuyvesant graduate, and I know Brooklyn Tech well. And we've got kids coming from the specialized high schools and from all 5 boroughs. In fact, in the freshman class this past year, almost 10% of the students were from New York City. So the students that choose to make this decision, it's a very, very intentional one. Nobody wakes up in the middle of the night and says, hey, Eureka, I have figured it out. 1,000 acres in central rural Ohio. That is what I'm looking for in a college. But what they do say to themselves is that I'm looking for a very intentional community, a place where I'm going to be surrounded by fellow students, by faculty, and by staff who are all saying the same thing, that they want their actions to matter. They want every sentence they utter to go to the building of a community. And that is the choice that people make. And we've got people from almost 50 states and almost 50 countries at Kenyon making that decision. Chose some photographs to show you a little bit of our place. This is very much a place-based experience. So on the upper left, you will see that we have this pathway. It's called Middle Path, and it runs from one extreme of campus to the other. Every single footpath, every single little road leads to Middle Path. We often call it the central artery, the beating heart of the campus. And it's a place where you'll see students, faculty, staff, all the Kenyon dogs connecting, saying hello. And that's still the case even in the midst of COVID when we've de-densified our campus. On the upper right, you will see old side of our dining facility. We are 100% residential for all 4 years. We think there is only one kind of shot in your life to have this kind of experience where you all eat together and you all live together. So the bottom left, you will see some of our dorms. Old Kenyon with the tower there is sort of an iconic symbol of Kenyon. You'll see it on a lot of our literature, and you might get a postcard with old K on it. But those are what some of the dorms look like. We do have a freshman quad because we like to build class unity as well as campus wide unity. Again, back to the 4 years of being fully residential. The dining hall has this Harry Potter-esque space, as well as a giant soaring glass atrium and incredibly modern space attached to one another. That was a decision, very conscious decision, to bring everyone together multiple times a day, often for many hours a day at a time, to eat together under one roof. And Kenyon feels like home. You do not have to swipe in and swipe out to eat in the Kenyon dining hall. Everybody's on the exact same meal plan. So we don't have some students who can only afford 14 meals while their roommate is paying for a 20 meal plan. That doesn't exist at Kenyon. You come in and out at will. I've even asked students, so how many times have you gone in and out in a day? I think the record I've heard is 15, because there's always a nice dessert or coffee or something else to grab. And on the bottom right, you will see Wigan Street Coffee. That is in the center of campus. Right in the center of campus is our town. We've got multiple restaurants, a hotel, an amazing and beautiful bookstore, which is much, much more than a bookstore, and more. So people have everything they need right in town. If they want kind of the standard, American small city and what it has to offer about 8 minutes away is Mount Vernon with, you know, movie theaters and Marshalls and fast food and everything else anybody, you know, could need sort of quickly. All right, this is back to Middle Path. I like to show this picture because we really are in the middle of everything. At Kenyon, we understand we're not in Midtown Manhattan, although we have many students from there, as I mentioned. So what we do is, of our 1,700 students, typically about 400 may be engaged in an internship on campus. We're really committed to students having a high impact practice or more than one before they graduate. About half of our students will also study abroad, and your financial aid, and by the way, we meet 100% of financial need, and your financial aid travels with you fully to studying abroad. At the center of life at Kenyon is the academic experience. The faculty-student relationships absolutely are meaningful, lifelong experiences that students have. Kenyon is a lifelong experience. It's really, really important to know that. We've got a 10-to-1 student to faculty ratio. The average class size is 15. And while you might hear those kinds of numbers at other liberal arts colleges, it is really important to know that we have committed to keeping all classes small. So at many places, the most popular introductory classes, which might be intro to biology or intro to psychology or intro to economics, they may very well have 100 kids at many schools that sort of serve up the same kind of average numbers that we do. But that doesn't exist at Kenyon. Intro econ, very popular. If we have to run multiple sections to keep them at about 25, we do. Intro psych or bio might hit somewhere in the 40s, and that's as far as it goes. So you are seen, you are known, and you know, there are so many things to be thinking about in the college process, including what kind of learning environment you thrive in. If you're somebody who thinks it sounds wonderful to hide in the back of an 80th row, you know, of an auditorium where nobody knows if, you know, my professor doesn't know if I'm there, if I've done the reading, you know, isn't curious about what I thought about it. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. But that does not exist at Kenyon. You show up, you know, you're sitting around a table, everybody's ready to go. They were excited to talk about the reading, and your professors, they know your name. And speaking of professors, here
So Carrie, we're actually over time for your presentation.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
So if you want to just wrap up quickly.
Sure. Well, I wanted to make sure everybody could see what our deadlines are and to learn more at kenyon.edu/admissions and aid. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you. So we just have a couple minutes left for a real quick rapid fire Q&A here. So I'd like all of our presenters to come back on camera and respond to this question. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we'll go in the same order that you presented. So Binghamton will be first.
Yeah, thank you. I think the biggest advice I can give to the students viewing this session right now is that you're certainly on the right track in exploring different colleges. So definitely continue to do that throughout the rest of your school year in the summer as well. If you do have the opportunity to visit campuses and you're taking visits, I think that's incredibly valuable in terms of your college search process. If schools are not offering in-person sessions, my next biggest tip is that all of our institutions have virtual tours, virtual sessions. You should definitely check that out, just so you have an idea of what you want to study and where do you want to go in the future.
Piggyback off of that, I will say engage with college admissions offices and use them to your advantage. We are here to help you in every way that we can. I think that there used to be this perspective of college admissions offices being a scary place, but really we want to help you and we want to see you succeed. So please feel free to reach out to the admissions offices at the colleges that you're interested in, ask them questions and really like use them to your advantage, because there's a lot of information on the internet and it can be hard to decipher. And a lot of times it's easier to just have those one-on-one personalized conversations.
Yeah, just like Gabby said, to be honest, like, reach out to us. Literally, a lot of the times you make seniors make decisions to go to school without knowing everything they should know before And again, and we're here to answer any questions you may have. In addition, if you're a junior, please make sure to fill out your FAFSA as soon as it opens. That way you're able to receive a financial aid package from the institutions that you're interested in as soon as possible, as opposed to like last minute.
I'm just going to sound like I'm copying off the people before me, but to me, the big thing, again, assuming this COVID thing is close to ending, is I never recommend going to any college you do not actually visit. To me, that's the biggest thing. I have never met a single person in my entire life who said they went to college or went to their college because of anything other than they liked the feel there. That was their main reason for choosing it. So definitely try to do that. And financial aid is a huge one. Financial aid is the most confusing part of this whole going to college process. So when that opens on October 1st of this year, definitely try to fill that out as soon as possible. And financial aid offices, admissions offices, we help you work out any kinks if anything for some reason's incorrect, and you'll be way less stressed next May when you have to make your final decision.
I'll try and be quick. Just put your best foot forward when you're writing about yourself. Brag about yourself when you're talking. You're a star. If no one's told you, you are amazing. And you need to make sure that you let us know. So everything that you do, if you're taking care of your siblings, if you've got a part-time job, everything is important. And everything you say helps us to feel out who you are as a person. And that matters to us.
And I just want to say, it is April of your junior year. Engage in an honest self-inventory. You have a lot of agency in this process. Ask yourself the important questions about what you need to thrive. Do you want a collaborative, a competitive environment? Ask yourself the questions about what matters to you, and then work with your great, advisors at Brooklyn Tech to put together a list. But it really starts with you.
Excellent. Thank you all so much. So that wraps up this session. I want to say thank you for joining us. And thank you to our presenters for the great information that you shared. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick survey. We do appreciate your feedback. Just a reminder to sign up for additional sessions that are part of this college fair happening later today and tomorrow. And you'll be able to find a recording of this session in about a week at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. So thank you all so much and have a great rest of your evenings.